Hi, everyone. Welcome to Highly Strange Daze on the PWR Network. I'm Amy, and with me for the weird is Shannon. Tonight we are talking mermaids. Mermaids lore, mermaid footage, mermaid stories, and the big question, are the rich elite capturing mermaids and consuming them for nefarious reasons? Yeah, we're going there. As an added bonus, we've got mermaid sightings right here in the US, Michigan, and Florida, baby. I'm going to roll credits while we wait for the rest of the cryptozoology or mermaid crowd to swim in. Special shout out to our replay crew and our dragonflies. We love you. Hey guys, welcome to Highly Strange Daze. I'm Amy.
And I'm Shannon.
My neighbor Jennifer sits all alone. She dreams of flying up to the moon. And she thinks it's the perfect night for dreaming and make believing.
I think it's a perfect night for talking about mermaids. Do you guys believe in mermaids? Do you think mermaids even exist? Do you think that the rich and elite are using their body for nefarious reasons, i.e., to get power from? That's the rumor on the street. The rumor on the street is that that's what's happening. To think about it, it kind of makes me get all hot and bothered and sweaty about it when I think about it, because it sounds like a bit like cannibalism to me. But a good thing that we have our sponsor today, which is Wild Deodorant. Have you heard of Wild Deodorant? Here, let me show you what I'm talking about. So Wild Deodorant, I have always had problems where I sweat a little bit too much. In my younger years, I even had prescription deodorant. So I need a stronger deodorant, but I worry about all the chemicals and I worry about the plastic. And with Wild, it's effective. There's no waste. It's unique. It's anti-plastic. The refills are not plastic. They're like this kind of paper about them. They're free from aluminum, parabens, and animal cruelty, and it's convenient. And how it works is you get to choose your case. You pick the scent that you want to use, and then you subscribe, and they are giving us a discount for our Parawomen subscribers. For your first, you get 20% off. So I think by the time it all comes down to it, I should have looked this up really quick too. It's like $12 or something, and you get this kit, and it comes with the deodorant, and I think it even has some soap with it too. But they don't just sell deodorant. It's also in Target, but you'll get 20% off if you go through us. And plus it also supports our channel because we get a little, this is a sponsored video. So yeah. And I have the discount right there in chat, and I will put it over in the YouTube show notes as well. And yeah, please support us, and every little bit helps. Thank you guys so much. Okay, so let's get back to the show, shall we? Let me get my self together here and bring up Shannon. Hi, Shannon. How are you?
I'm doing well, Amy. How are you?
I'm okay.
Well, good.
I'm ready to talk about mermaids.
Yes, I love mermaids.
Do you believe in mermaids?
I do. I like to believe that there are mermaids. I don't think they look like Ariel or anything like that, but I like to believe there are mermaids.
Yeah, I'd like to believe they are too. I thought it was so interesting when I sent the thing. You were like, I don't feel comfortable talking about this, and I'm like, mermaids? You don't feel comfortable? And you're like, and you were talking about the consuming them, and I'm like, oh, well, do you believe that? I didn't. Do you believe they're doing that? Because I don't know if I'm 90% sure they're not doing that. I put the 10% out there because it's like I just feel like the rich will do like the elite, like it's a certain level of rich you have to be to do stuff like that. You have to be like bored with life. There's nothing else out there.
Or someone who completely is heartless.
Yeah. Because I believe they're doing that type of things to children and things like that. I feel like what they're doing is stealing their energy and their soul. So, I mean, why not do it to, I guess if mermaids existed, they would do that to mermaids as well.
Yeah.
But let's take a quick look at it, but we're going to look at this for a moment, and then we're going to go into, I found some actual mermaid videos of people saying that they found them swimming in the ocean. And there's also some videos that we're going to do because you're in Michigan and I'm in Florida, but I'm also from Michigan. And so we're going to look at mermaids in Michigan and Florida.
Cool.
Yeah. This is Parawomenradio, or the Power Network, formerly Parawomenradio. I'm Amy. Be sure to give this live a thumbs up. Today we're coming to you on YouTube and Facebook. Hi guys. Just show us love on the platform you're in. It just helps us dance out into the algorithm. Party out there. Bring more people back. It's just a free way to help us out. Everything we look at during this live, I will put over in the YouTube show notes. We do this for fair play use as well as decider sources.
That sounds wonderful. What are we watching here?
We're talking about mermaids.
No, this video.
This is Food for the Elite: Mermaid Eating Habits Exposed. We're getting into the eating of the mermaids. We're going to look into the lure of it, and then we're going to go through the debunking. And then, like I said, then we're going to go into the mermaids of Michigan and Florida. Yeah.
Cool. Well, it was one of my favorite things to do is talk about mermaid sightings when I used to read the Paraworld News back in the day. So this is really exciting for me.
This is really cool. Had you heard about the mermaids and the dinner parties over on TikTok before I mentioned it to you?
No. And then when you mentioned it to me, it made me very upset.
It's upsetting. It is upsetting. If they're really doing it, it's truly upsetting. But I was watching this Bigfoot thing where this one of the guys, I can't remember his name, but he's one of the guys that's been going after P. Diddy for a long time. He's been one of the guys that's been calling him out for a long time. He was sitting on the blue couch and talking about how he had went to this party at this guy's house, and the guy, it was a barbecue and they were outside, having fun or whatever. And I guess the guy, he says, like, I get along with everybody, so people usually invite me in. And so the family invited him in for a drink, and he was in the guy's study and he was looking around, and he was a hunter, and he was looking at all the the game that he had in there. And he looked over at this one and he was like, I'm a big guy. I'm like 6 foot, whatever. And he said, this thing was like 8-9 foot tall. And I was looking at it, and I was just looking at it. And the guy was looking at me, looking at it. And then the guy finally said, yeah, the big guy's real. So he said, there's just some rich people that just get beyond Like they just have so much money, they don't know what to do with it. And they just do this kind of things. And he talked about how they tracked it and how the Bigfoot had this glimmering thing where it could glimmer in and out. But they had shot it just as before it had glimmered out. And then they tracked it for 2 days. And then he had it stuffed in his if you believe in Bigfoot, right? If you believe these stories.
Yeah. I absolutely believe in Bigfoot. And that makes me sad that he has a stuffed Bigfoot
really
in it. Yeah. I hate the rich.
Yeah. I don't hate the rich. I just hate the rich that don't know what to do with it. You know, they don't know what to. They're not philanthropers. And how do you say that word?
Philanthropist.
I can never say it.
Philanthropists.
Anyway, if you're not one of them that I can't say, it's annoying. Like, yeah.
Yeah. Like Bill Gates. He's a good rich guy.
Bill Gates?
Isn't he?
I don't know.
I think he donates a lot of his money.
Oh, does he? Oh, okay. Maybe isn't Bill Gates the one that was doing anyway? No, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. Anyway, let's get on.
Okay. Oh, we don't have volume.
Oh, you don't?
No, that's why I was really confused as to what's going on.
Oh. Okay. I'm going to have to remove it from the thing and then try to reshare it. Hold on 1 second.
Oh, sure.
Okay. Okay, let's see if this works.
Topic that went viral just
Can you hear it now?
a few weeks ago.
Okay.
A girl on TikTok claimed she was invited to a celebrity party, and what she saw there shocked her. She said they were eating mermaids. Yes, mermaids. And suddenly, the internet woke up. Debates, reactions, theories, disbelief. Some were horrified, others fascinated. I think this is new. It's not. Because in Japan, there are stories that go back centuries of a strange creature called the Ningyo, a mermaid-like being said to bring immortality to those who eat its flesh. One legend speaks of a woman who lived 800 years after tasting it, but at a cost, because some knowledge changes you, and some things, once consumed, can never be undone. So let's talk about what we're really hungry for, because maybe it's not just mermaids, not just rare delicacies or beauty or even eternal youth. Maybe it's something deeper, something we've forgotten how to name, a hunger rooted in old stories, of fallen angels, of forbidden feasts, and of us, the people who always want more. You are watching the Tales of the Savannah.
So this is what got me into it. We're going to take a look at some of the TikToks where they go into talking about I have to stop sharing it again because I'm having problems with it. Hold on a second.
Sure.
Sorry, guys. StreamYard's been acting really wonky lately. Okay. So this is the woman that I first heard.
You're eating mermaids and I know what they taste like.
Today we are talking about mermaid eating parties. Yes, there is a conspiracy theory that claims the most elite members of society are gathering right now where we aren't looking to have dinner parties where they eat mermaids. I mean, this is basically the plot to a horror movie. Anyway, this theory was initially popularized on TikTok this month, March of 2025, so it's fresh, much like they prefer their meat. Raw? No, I'm just kidding. I'm not sure what their favorite form of preparation is. The story this year started on March 4th when TikToker JLee2.07 then posted a video recounting this story about a company that catches mermaids. I guess this TikToker knows a guy who knows a guy who knows a guy who knows a guy who was released from prison. There's this company run by this guy named Captain Burgess. I don't know, it sounds like a Wattpad fan fiction. Regardless, his friend Landon agrees to work for this charter because he needs work right out of prison, and before long, on a fishing expedition during a storm, they're netting humanoid fish, and Landon says that she sounds like she's begging for her life, and eventually the crew brings the mermaids to this warehouse filled with wealthy people who eat her. Pretty sure we're getting information from some dude who's just really mad his screenplay won't get adapted in Hollywood. Because of this story, many other TikTokers started sharing their experiences, like Tiff's Ghost Talk, who claims she received an email from someone who allegedly attended an elite mermaid eating party. Many other TikTokers would catch wind of the story and add on to it. Quote, eating mermaids is all they have left, end quote, said ScareBear0. Hollywood is a place of degeneracy. This would spread and spread, and on other social media websites, people would add their own opinions. Some people on r/conspiracy wonder if maybe mermaid is just code word for child. Now look, this conspiracy theory is ridiculous, but as much as everyone wants to throw this,
they have gone into like it possibly being more of a conspiracy where mermaid is for a child, because
so let's dive into this.
Are actual adults that are coming out now saying that they were forced to do things. They were in the care of handlers, and they were forced to watch children be unalived in front of them and do unspeakable things. And so they are saying that it could be code for that.
That's just disgusting.
Do people eat mermaids? And if they do, why? Is it for fun, just to say that they ate an exotic animal, or is there a magical ritual behind it?
Do you feel the same way that I do? Like if it is, it feels cannibalistic to me. Does it feel that way to you, or it?
I guess it depends. Yes. I'm gonna go with yes. I was going to say it depends on what the mermaids really look like. Do they look more like fish? Then it would be like eating fish.
Yeah,
but I don't know. No, it's just wrong all around.
Like, would you eat a Bigfoot? Would you eat a Bigfoot? Because like everything that I've heard about, like the Bigfoot, is they have like humanistic eyes. Could you eat something that has a humanistic face to it?
No. I couldn't eat a mermaid either, no matter what they tasted like. Even if they tasted like chicken, I wouldn't eat them.
Here's another question. Are they eating the top or the bottom of the mermaid? I do know of a witch spell that talks about eating mermaids. Let me tell you about that. Ancient witches of the Mediterranean were said to eat the tails of mermaids for longevity. It was believed that eating the tail of this mythological creature could give you immortality. So with this said, what do you think? Is it a possibility that if mermaids exist, they could be doing this for eternal youth?
There is one story out there where the person said that this company was catching mermaids, and they got one that was a fighter. And so, she was fighting. They had to watch it. And it just wouldn't stop fighting. They finally got it in the tank, and they slammed down the lid, but it had its hands out, and it cut off the mermaid's fingers. But it was like fighting, and they got it to where they were going, and the people who were purchasing it were like, well, its fingers are cut off, we don't want it. So then they found this other place that wanted it, so they had to take the boat there. And when they got there, they go into this facility, and it's not just mermaids they have in there. They have all these other crypto things, and they take it. And when they get the mermaid, they notice that the mermaid, because this is 2 days later, the mermaid actually grew its fingers back. And they think that the people who took it knew that this happens, and that they actually regrow limbs.
Wow.
And then, so my question is if that's true, then are they keeping these poor creatures alive for years just you know,
Eating parts.
yeah.
Oh, it breaks my heart just thinking about it, Amy.
Here's another guy talking about it. This is what he had to say.
For like a week, mutant flu, and I've been on social media, but I came back to see that the world is, at least some people are talking about eating mermaids. I mean, I thought flat Earth was bad, and now people think people are eating mermaids. I mean, what the fuck? This is why the world is so angry and everyone's crazy, because it's like getting a map to a pot of gold, and then you come to an intersection and there's like, that's it. There's no more directions. Like, you're just gonna lose your mind. Like, I worked in Hollywood long enough to have dinners with some of these billionaires and super famous people. Do you know what they talk about? They talk about like trade routes and the economies of small countries that are going to affect the economies of medium-sized countries that will then affect the economies of big countries, because that's how they make their money. Nobody's eating fucking mermaids. Just stop.
So over on Quora, this person's asking, well, according to some legends, this person's like, what is mermaid meat? And this person says, well, according to some legends I've read, especially those from Japan, eating the flesh of a mermaid either grants you a very long life, in some stories actual immortality, or drives you insane. As I personally value intelligence and actually like mermaids, they're my favorite mythological creature. If such beings existed, I couldn't conceive of eating one, as that is much too close to cannibalism, and I'm no cannibal. So essentially for me, mermaid meat is off the menu permanently. I certainly would like to meet a mermaid, but that's a whole different thing, especially if she was as nice and compassionate as Daryl Hannah, and maybe even find out how compatible mermaids and humans really are. But to actually attempt to eat one, I'm not that crazy. So people are having a hard time even fathoming eating one.
Yeah, I would like to think that it doesn't happen. But when I think about the world today and what's going on out there, and the horrible people that are out there right now, I can honestly see them eating mermaids. And it makes me sick.
What do you guys think out there listening? Do you think that this is actually happening? Do you even believe in mermaids? Let's look at one of the TikTok stories where she's actually talking about it.
The lead are eating mermaids, and I know what they taste like. You've probably seen the viral mermaid eating videos, but have you seen mine? Because mine's the original one. For some reason, it's not on the For You page, but I did get another email from someone that went to the party. They actually paid to go to the party, and they told me what they taste like. Let's read that email, show. We're going to call him Jonas. I think that's funny. As in Jonah, and all. Jonah said, I spent my life chasing the rare, the forbidden, the experiences that others whispered about but never dared to pursue. I had sipped snake venom infused whiskey in Japan, dined on endangered delicacies in hidden European supper clubs, and even paid an absurd amount to eat a meal cooked on lava in Iceland. When he heard about the mermaid parties, he was down to go, and he said that he paid $50,000 for his ticket. He wasn't told about the location until the day of the party, that a black limo came and picked him up, took him to the party. He said the host was in a white suit wearing a mask, like a masquerade mask, and said, welcome. Tonight you will partake in a dish once served for the kings of lost civilizations, a delicacy that vanished from history until now. Now here's what he said. Their torsos were eerily human, slender arms, delicate collarbones, pale faces, frozen in serene stillness. But from the waist down, their bodies shimmered with blue-green scales ending in powerful tails. Their below had been with precision, revealing rich marbled meat beneath. A server placed a dish in front of Jonas, thinly sliced filet, lightly seared, resting in a golden broth infused with herbs he didn't recognize. The aroma was intoxicating, sweet, briny, complex. The flavor was exquisite. It was unlike anything he had ever known, sweet like scallops, rich like Wagyu beef, with a depth of umami that seemed to awaken something deep in his senses. It was as if he were tasting the ocean itself, not just its bounty, but its soul. That's his words, not mine. He then said, a warmth spread through my body. My heartbeat slowed. My breath deepened. Around me, the other guests had closed their eyes, their faces soft with pleasure. A sound, and then he describes it as no, not a sound, but a feeling, a low, resonant hum, a vibration in my bones, in my blood. That his mind was filled with visions of deep blue waters, endless and calm, filled with whispers, not words, but emotions, memories, as if the sea itself had opened to him, revealing its secrets. He felt it, the pull, the connection. They were all enjoying it. The host raised a glass and said, to those who dine beyond the edge of the world, said 10 out of 10 would recommend, and he would do it again. The leader eating mermaids, and I know what they taste like.
So that is what kicked this all off. So what do you think? Do you think this is actually happening?
I hope it's not. I can believe it.
90% sure that it's not, but there's like that 10% that I do believe in the ugly in the world, that it could maybe, but I don't know.
Do I think maybe Putin eats mermaid? He could. I wouldn't put it past him.
I wouldn't put it past any politician. I don't like any politician. I think they're all crap. So I think they're all doing dangerous stuff to our world. So, but I feel like I really hope they're not.
Yeah.
So let's look into mermaid sightings, shall we?
Yes, that's much better. Let's do that.
Here we go.
This fisherman has posted some pretty eerie videos on TikTok, most of them having to do with unsettling things he sees.
And for those listeners, put a mermaid down in our comments if you believe that this is, if you even believe in mermaids. Let us know, because I'm curious to know how many people even believe in mermaids.
And hears while out at sea late at night. In this first clip, he captures something swimming near the surface of the water at a pretty solid clip, keeping up with his boat. But this next clip is the creepy one. It's late at night, and now he starts hearing this haunting cry, almost like a siren's call coming from somewhere out in the waves. It's cool actually seeing something like this. You really get a sense of why so many sailors back in the day would spin these tales of strange encounters they had out at sea with what they could only assume were the ghostly cries of mermaids luring them out to the water. If you didn't know any better, that's probably what you'd think as well. But a lot of the commenters say this is
So what he's doing is he's going up and down, back and forth in the boat because he keeps hearing some crying on each side of the waves. I guess he never shows it. He just like talks in front of
Back
it.
in 2009, people in Kiryat Yem, Israel.
Let's go forward to a different one.
Okay.
I don't think that he's talking over them all.
Number 19, mermaid caught in South Africa. Now we'll dive into some more silliness and fairly determined efforts to go viral on the old internet. This time, we're in South Africa. But then again, there are also reports that this took place in Kenya. Those countries are very much at different ends of the African continent, so who could possibly say? But you know that when a video doesn't even know where it came from, it's definitely extremely reliable and trustworthy. The footage appears to show a half-human, half-fish creature, you know, like a mermaid.
Huh.
It could be a whole human stuffed into a fish.
I don't think
Who
that's
knows?
real.
There's always that possibility. But then again, I wasn't there, so how could I possibly?
That doesn't look real. That looks like a human stuffed in a fish.
Yeah, it does.
Know
But
anything at all?
The boobs? There's no boobs.
But it looks like a kid, though, to me.
But they would at least have nipples.
Oh, yeah, that's true.
Can you say nipple?
I don't know,
Of course.
but I
it could.
can't see them. It could be like a costume, I guess.
Maybe it
Or
was.
human stuffed into a fish. Who knows? There's always that possibility. But then again, I wasn't there, so how could I possibly know anything at all? The authorities have allegedly said that the video is a fake, and whether these authorities are South African or Kenyan or fake themselves, who knows? Don't you just love the internet? What a fantastic resource it is for us all.
Especially now
Number
with AI.
18, mermaid sighting in Israel. Next up, we have an
Oh.
alleged mermaid in Israel. This is the story of a bunch of apparent mermaid sightings in the town of Kiryat Yam back in 2022. And these glimpses of a so-called real-life mermaid have created such a stir that hundreds of extra tourists have been flocking to the Israeli town in
Oh,
hopes
wow.
of seeing the mythical creature for themselves. Unlike some other local authorities with crazy sightings, the government has really leaned into the story. Well, I mean, there is a buck to be made and a bit of a boost of tourism now, isn't there? So why not? They've actually offered a $1 million reward to the first person who can successfully photograph the creature. And until that happens, we'll just have to make do with the description that many witnesses have put forward. They've suggested that the mermaid is, a cross between a fish and a young girl. It only appears at sunset and then performs a couple of tricks for people who are watching, and then she disappears again. It's intriguing, I'm sure.
Huh.
Number 17.
What do you think about that one?
You know, it was really, her arms were like crazily long. It, like, when
Till
she
that
drug
happens-
herself, herself against the over the rock, you know,
Yeah, it did look really weird when she went over the rock.
like crab legs.
That looked weird too when she flipped herself over. Like it looked like a fish stomach right there, didn't it?
Yeah, yeah. And then she, yeah, those weird arms. I don't know.
It looks AI. Like if it's not real, it's
Beach.
AI.
Here we have an alleged discovery of a mermaid corpse on a beach in Norfolk in the UK. For starters, this is not really the usual depiction of a mermaid. It's especially gnarly and unpleasant, and really not at all suitable for any person of a sensitive disposition, especially a mermaid fan. So I hope you've closed your eyes if that is you.
Oh, and I keep forgetting. Hi, Moira. She said hi to both you and I. I forgot to say hi.
Otherwise, we'll examine this gross discovery a bit further. Right then, of course. This is definitely and totally for real, and there's nothing in the least that is any bit suspect about any of it for sure. Apart from the fact that this is not only super fake, it's also super creepy. I mean, who in their right mind actually goes about constructing a corpse like this one? And then how do you really do it? What parts is this made from? It's like a dead, desiccated human body with a shriveled up old fishtail now, isn't it? That's all not very magical at all. This beach find was uploaded by some guy on Facebook along with the caption, "Today at Great Yarmouth, we found what looks like a dead mermaid."
Looks like kind of garbage right there or something.
Yeah, like a black garbage bag.
Yeah. All right, let's go forward.
Maybe a mummified mermaid, but the story that goes with it is even more gross than you would expect. According to ancient Japanese legend, if a person tastes
Oh, I think tonight's show is more gross than anyone expected.
Yeah.
flesh of a mermaid, they will be granted immortality. This legend is based on a story which is retold across many different parts of Japan, where a woman accidentally ate a little bit of mermaid. I mean, how one does this is not actually retold in the story and made
I
clear.
also want to know, why do you have to unalive the mermaids if they can regrow stuff? Like, I mean, it sounds like a horrible thing to do, but why do you have to like kill them? Because if they can regrow their bodies, why?
But did they know that when they were unaliving them?
Maybe
They
not.
might not have known.
Maybe not.
Because the only reason
And
why
then
we
she
know is
lived-
because of that video that we just watched.
Yeah.
for 800 years. Now, whether this is a blessing or a curse is probably rather subjective. I mean, would you eat a mermaid-based snackette if it guaranteed you a long life? Or would you rather skip the
God,
seafood/cannibalism
no.
cannibalism aspect of the technique? Tell me your thoughts down below.
Well, who wants to live 600 years anyway? I don't.
No, I don't either.
Anyways, here we have the so-called mermaid mummy that, according to a letter that was found alongside it, had been caught in a fishing net in the waters off of Kochi Prefecture. The story goes that it was simply sold at a market as an unusual fish, but one family saw that it was a mermaid and purchased it, keeping it as their treasure. Because of their apparent immortality-giving properties, mermaids are worshipped by some in Japan, or at least they have been in history, and the story of this particularly dried-up old creature places the mermaid's capture somewhere between 1736 and 1941. But all of this is based on writings that date from the early 20th century, and well, frankly, mermaids are not real, so, you know. Number 15. Mermaid sightings in the Philippines. Right then, of course, because this is totally for real and there's nothing in the least a bit suspect about any of it. For sure. Here we are in the Philippines.
A lot of times people think that the manatees, that's like in the lore, they thought the manatees were mermaids. So,
Yes, I have heard that.
the sea creatures, yeah.
On the island of General Santos City, known as Jinsan by most, and apparently they've been extra busy there spotting mermaids. What do you know? This area is rich in diverse marine life, and there are many different species in these waters, which includes dolphins, marlin, tuna, rays, sea turtles, and more. It's packed with marine wildlife, so perhaps it is a mermaid that people keep seeing, but then again, perhaps it's any one of the many, many, many other sea animals that make these waters their home. We have a 3-second long snippet of footage in which we see a mermaidish shape in the water. It surfaces for a fraction of a second and then dives back beneath the waves. This, we are told to believe, is the
That to me looks like a manatee or something.
Yeah, I agree.
Here is one that was supposedly caught in Australia.
Oh, wow.
So I don't know if this is AI.
Someone in a costume.
Yeah, I can't even tell anymore with AI because it's getting so good these days that it's really hard to tell.
Mm-hmm.
So, what do you think? Do you think any of those were actual mermaids?
No. maybe that one crawling on the rocks with the weird arms that creep me out. But no, I don't think they are.
Yeah, there were sirens in the Bible mentioned, and you thought the one on the rocks looked like one too with the long arms. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
That did look like, and there was the video, he was talking over it, but there was the one where the guy kept racing back and forth on the boat and he thought that maybe, but it sounded also like dolphins crying out too. So, but I don't know, do dolphins sleep at night?
I don't know.
I don't know what dolphins do at night.
Maybe they just sleep when they're tired.
Well, there were mermaids in Michigan at the Renaissance Festival.
Well, of course.
Did you know that they had them at the Renaissance Festival?
I did not know that. No. I haven't been recently.
Nearly 300,000 people will attend to be transported into a mythical world where they can meet Pegasus the flying horse,
Pegasus.
Pegasus,
That's right. Yeah.
see live jousting and immerse themselves into bygone days.
At 45 acres and more than 200 vendors, Michigan boasts one of the 10 largest Renaissance festivals in the nation this year.
It's a
You can
fun
also
one.
visit Mermaid Cove, and that is where we find Paula Tutman, who shows us the growing community of people. Are you ready for this, Will? Who are living a portion of their lives underwater.
At the Michigan Renaissance Festival, it is a great opportunity to visit Mermaid Cove. It's where you'll have an opportunity to meet people who are actual mermaids, living partially above land and partially underwater. They're called mer people in all 50 states and around the globe. There are pods of people who feel like fish out of water when walking upon two legs, but in ponds, lakes, oceans, pools, and yes, human aquariums, they feel most at home. The mer movement is growing. This is a community that cares nothing about the outward trappings of life. They don't care how much you weigh, who you voted for, who you love, how you pray, or what you look like. In a world where there is barely tolerance for people who are different, this is a world where there is pure, unadulterated acceptance.
It is where anyone can come in from any walk of life and know that they are welcome with open arms, that they have people who are going to understand them and who want them to be a part of this community.
I am a little bit more physically comfortable in water. It helps with as an adult with sensory needs and an adult that's on the spectrum. It helps me relax and calm down, especially cold water.
The mission, or immersion, also includes protection of the most valuable resource on the planet, water.
To help people learn.
She actually looks different in water, doesn't she?
Yeah, she does. It smooths out her face.
Yeah.
Physically comfortable in water.
Wow. People, which introduces the growing culture of MERS. Mermaids.
I'm sorry, ocean fish, but this is definitely mine.
Mermen, merpeople. Mermaid JC is a Canadian mermaid. Whether ocean, freshwater, or tropical MERS, they are merrily, mercifully, mermagically stunning to watch, inspiring to listen to, and exciting to be a part of.
And with that, this must be more of them. They like to go into the waters of Michigan and swim around and do these beautiful pictures.
Oh.
And then there was this.
Name of the ship was the Bully. The winds blew hard, her bow dipped down. Oh, blow me, belly boys, blow. Soon may the wellermen come to bring us sugar.
Gonna have to take the sound down because we'll get copyright written, but there is a group of people that they just swim around wreckages in the Great Lakes and take photos, and I guess they're the mer people. And
wow,
those are the Michigan mermaids that I was talking about. If you Google it, they're all over. There's a ton of videos that they have done.
Huh. I'm amazed how long they can stay underwater without breathing.
I know. Really pretty. And then in Florida, right by me, there is this place in Dunellen Springs where there is a show of mermaids where they're in the tanks and you can go visit the mermaids.
Same thing. Whether it be you're a hobbyist or a professional mer, you're really having the chance to capitalize on something that you deep down is your inner child, which is phenomenal. I try.
Wow.
Internationally, performing in tank shows, aquariums, my own personal tanks, and different private parties, corporate functions that and really just bringing magic to the entire world, one tail flip at a time.
The mermaid party. Merpeople party.
Well, that's fun.
This one, brand new for me. Like, I just got this one a week and a half ago. Yeah. Thank you.
Oh my God! Look at it.
Not yet.
Mm-hmm.
Ready?
3, 2, 1, jump.
Wow.
Everything out now.
That's pretty.
Shows, movies, and everything you see. Mermaids are everywhere, and it is the time. Merpeople is a new Netflix series that just came out. It really encapsulates different areas of the mermaid community. So it shows what it's like to be a hobbyist, a professional mer, competitions, pageants, tank life. I feel like it's opening people's eyes to the mermaid world. I think people thought that it didn't really exist.
See you guys later.
So there are people that travel around and they do actual mermaid shows.
That's cool. I'd watch it.
I would too. And finally, we will wrap up the night over on Reddit. And there were some people asking for actual stories. Does anyone have legit mermaid stories or encounters? My family is from the Caribbean, and growing up, I heard a few stories about mermaids luring and capturing people. I just wanted to ask, has anyone else encountered them or has any stories about them? Do you want to read a little bit?
Oh, yeah. Okay. I'd like to add mine. In 2021, I was in Montego Bay, Jamaica, and I was sitting on the beach alone during a silent lightning storm at night. And all of a sudden, I felt this intense urge to run into the water. Mind you, I don't swim. After a while, the urge intensified, and I stupidly went to put my feet in the water. I remember the water was bubbling, and it was pitch black, and I immediately felt this sense of dread and danger and ran out of the water. After getting out, I went back to sit down on my folding chair, and out of nowhere, a bolt of lightning lit up the sky, and the sea, and I saw a big black figure with long hair not too far away from me, staring at me from the water. After the lightning was gone, the figure was nowhere to be found. I sat out there for a half an hour, trying to figure out what that figure I saw was, but it never appeared again. I really believe it was a mermaid trying to take me out into the sea. Wow.
Wow. That's scary. Here's another one.
Okay. My experience was similar. I was alone at the beach during the daytime, but this beach wasn't well known in a town of 10,000 people called Rockport, Texas. This happened during 2022. I was just wading in the water, sitting down at the shore. No one knew about this hidden little spot because it wasn't the main beach in town that everyone went to. Really, only the locals knew, and not even some locals knew. I mean, like, you had to live right by it to know about it. Found it on a walk one day. Okay. And every time I went there was never anyone there. At the most, I would see one or two other people there, usually the same folks with their cars and dogs. There was always me and two other people there, but it was rare when I ran into anyone there because, again, it was a tiny little shore made of shells and wasn't like actual sand. It hurt to walk on the shells because they would stab your feet. But anyways, I liked the solitude of the place and would walk there often. It was like 4 blocks from my place, roughly. So this one day I was waiting just had my lower half in the water, and my arms were perching me up, and I was just like kicking my feet. And I felt the urge to go far into the ocean and felt something calling me to go deeper. but my gut told me it was evil and dangerous and threatening. Then I saw two heads pop up not too far from the shore, but far enough. And that's where I was feeling called to swim to. And I so badly wanted to. But I knew they were going to take me to their people and drown me and kill me and use me for evil doing. And I will never forget those two mermaid siren heads I saw. I knew they were mermaids because there was no one else there, no cars and no boats nearby. They just showed up out of nowhere. They looked human from the distance. I could make their heads out and saw their brown hair too and could make the outline of their faces. But I knew they were not human because of how they showed up out of nowhere and then disappeared shortly after into nowhere. I did see them swim off after I rejected them. And it was interesting because they also looked a little like the way dolphins swim. At first, I couldn't tell if they were human or dolphin. But as I looked closer is when I realized what they were. And also logically, I was like, they're not human because they were underwater swimming like they were dolphin, but they looked human and appeared out of thin air. If they were human, I would have known. But they could breathe underwater for so long, and they swam like dolphin/fish. They're real 100%.
This was 3 months ago. It could have been some of those mer people out there.
Could have been. It could have been. Oh my God, that's funny. Yeah, for real. I'm living in the Caribbean as well, in Utila, Honduras. Once I was in Neptune's, one of the most virgin beaches here, and I was just swimming, not even diving or doing snorkel, and I felt a hand pulling me. And I have long hair to my shoulders. I'm 6'5", so it started pulling my hair. Obviously, I panicked, and I started screaming, and my two of my friends were looking at me like, what the fuck is going on, LOL? So I got to the dock, and then I see a remora, and they have a soft tissue that makes suction, and that's how they cling to sharks and whales. But I've never encountered a fish that pulls down, and it's swimming near the deck when I got off of it. My friend is a diver instructor, and she got into the water. The remora never got close to her, and it touched my legs, arms, it pulled my hair like that was a month ago. And still living in an island, and I'm a little frightened to go into the sea. So my friend who is an instructor for diving vouches for my mermaid story because she told me she felt threatened by something, but by something she didn't know. I believe in them, honestly.
Huh. I don't want anything sucking onto me.
Yes, mermaids are real. But because many people are skeptical about it, I chose not to discuss my encounter. I was 13 years old, and it was not a pleasant encounter. I ended up in the hospital emergency room and have the scars to prove it. Mermaids do not exist only in the sea. Oh, mermaids do not exist only in the sea. I believe they do exist in any body of water. It can be a dam or a pond. I don't know why I had the encounter. I was with my sister, and I was the only person that saw them and tried to draw her attention to them. There were 3 of them. I was on top of a tree by a pond in a secluded area when I saw them. I fell down from the tree when I had the encounter and ended up in the hospital emergency room.
Okay.
I don't know why these are making me laugh. You want to read this one?
Oh, all right, I'll read this one. It's hard to explain. I was fishing in a river about 1.5 miles from my grandmother's house. I had always walked there and fished from the bank where I'd gone since I was a kid. I was down fishing with my dog Lucy and was sitting in and leaning against a tree. Then my bobber went down and hard, and my rod almost went out of my hands. I figured I had a bass or catfish. For some reason, though, I started following my line as if something was drawing me in. Josie was freaking out, yelling, and even biting my leg, trying to get me back. But I kept following it as if I were in a trance. Then something broke the surface of the water in front of me, and all I could see was this torso and head of like a greenish brown head, and I saw its hand. Yes, a hand was pulling my line towards it, and I was so scared but couldn't stop as it brought me closer. When Josie was between us, barking and snapping at it, and I was able suddenly to go back towards the bank, leaving everything. I saw it grab Josie and grabbing at my knife. I cut the line, which I guess broke the trance, and I struggled out of the water. I saw Josie and grabbed her and ran out of the water. I heard a weird slapping sound and a grunt, and I kept running until I was almost home. I saw Josie was hurt. One of her ears was gone and bleeding, and I finally got to the house. I was crying and threw her in the car and straight to the vet, still went wet and shaking. I told him something got her and waited anxiously until he came back, and he said she was lucky that he had extracted a tooth from her skull. Wow. He said it looked like an alligator tooth, but I knew better. I never told my family about what happened, but I knew damn well it wasn't an alligator.
Damn, that was a good one.
Yeah, that was a good one. This person said, "My God, thank you for sharing. I believe you." Again, goosebumps. What do you guys think? Let's see what the chat's saying.
That last one, that kind of seemed legit.
It did.
That was the only one. All the other ones made me laugh.
It grabbed it. I mean, like it grabbed him. Grabbed the dog. Hey, Amber. All of the Haitian people I know swear water people are real. Oh. You're welcome, Moira. I'm glad that you like it. Why should we break the children? Why should we break the children make believe? Best to keep the myth going. Just a suggestion. Just let them believe in the mermaids. I believe, I kind of do believe that. Well, I believe in the cryptozoology animals, some of them. I talk about them all the time. And some of them I actually do believe in. So, and I don't know if mermaids exist or not, but I mean, I'm not like totally where I don't believe in them.
Yeah,
So,
I believe that they exist.
I think we are the children you're talking about. Don't ruin us. Don't ruin our dreams of mermaids.
Just kidding.
So that's actually all I had for tonight for the mermaids. What do you think? Are the rich dining on the mermaids, and do the mermaids even exist?
I believe that mermaids exist, and the rich better fucking not be dining on mermaids. That's all I have to say.
Let's see what the poll is saying. I did a poll where I I asked if mermaids really exist, and it looks like, and it was yes, and I want to see one. 50% of you said that. No, get your head out of the water. 12% said that. Don't know, but I want to believe. 25%. And then I just gave some people an out, and it just says I gave 2 mermaid thumbs up. 12% did that. So thank you.
Awesome.
Thank you everyone for being here. Thank you for listening. Thanks, Shannon, for being here. Do you have anything else you want to talk about? Have you ever had any mermaid experiences? I haven't, so I don't have anything to say.
No, I have never had a mermaid experience. I'm very rarely by water.
Oh, really?
But yeah, I mean, I read a lot of like paranormal fiction, and recently I've been reading about mermaids.
I've been into them a little bit more lately than normal.
And I don't know. I think that if they do exist, that they're not like I can be a human on land, and then once I hit water, my tail can come out kind of deal. I don't believe it's like that for real.
No.
I believe that they lean more towards mostly fish looking.
Do you think they have any magical abilities? Or are they just fish?
I would like to think that they would have magical abilities, and maybe that's how they've stayed out of the spotlight for so long.
I don't know, but the ocean, there's so much of the ocean we haven't explored, and it goes so deep that we're just now able to go down there without like what we go in like capsizing, or what's that called when it like the water pressure closes in on itself. It gets so where it goes inside out.
When you get the bends.
No, when you go down in the water pressure, it makes it makes you explode.
Oh, really?
Of it, yeah.
Oh my
And we
God.
can't go down that deep. We've just now started making these vessels that can take us down there.
I was not aware of that. That's pretty cool.
Oh, Missing 411 talks about water spirits. Yeah, I'm sure there's spirits and weird stuff down there, just like there's spirits and weird stuff that walks on this earth. So, I mean, why wouldn't they be swimming down in there?
Yeah. Oh yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, they could be magical. I mean, there's a lot of, I think, like Bigfoot has a little magicalness to it. But I think Earth has more magicalness to it than we are aware of. I think there's things that can be done on Earth because of Earth is what Earth is, the energy and the magnetic pull of it and everything. There's just stuff that we don't realize that can be done on Earth yet. So
yeah, I believe.
I don't know how magical that is. It's it's how magical we don't realize that we can do it yet is magical to me.
Yeah. No, I get that.
Yeah.
All right. Well, it was a good show, Amy. I appreciate everything you do, Amy, for the show. And you just kind of you're such a good arranger, and you come up with everything, and I just come along for the ride, and I appreciate that you let me do that.
Oh,
And
thank you for being here.
yeah, thank you. And thanks to everyone out there watching. I'll see you all next week. Bye, Amy.
Okay. Bye, Shannon. Okay, guys, a happy Father's Day to all those fathers celebrating it in the United States. Be sure to support our channel by, if you need some good deodorant, we're with the Wild. And I will put the link for the 20% off down in the show notes. It's there in chat and it's up there on the screen. Thank you for being here, everyone. All your support means the world to me. You think Bigfoot's interdimensional? Yeah, I think Bigfoot knows how to travel in a way that we haven't figured it out yet. But I think Bigfoot has been here much longer than we have. Then that makes sense. But yeah, I think Bigfoot's just a creature that's been around for a long time. Yeah. So anyway, getting back to the deodorant, if it's a great deodorant, I've tried other products, and this is the first sponsorship that I have accepted and brought to you. And we did like a food service, and I didn't like the food, and did something else, and I didn't like that. But I do like this deodorant quite a bit, and I like the soap, and I like the idea that I'm not putting more plastic out into the world, because I do worry about our environment. So anyway, there it is. I'm going to go, you guys. Thank you for being here. If nobody's told you this today, and even if they have, I'm still going to tell you guys this. I love you guys so, so much, and I'll see you next time. Be sure to subscribe and like. Bye, guys. Bye, Amber. Bye, Moira. Thanks, everyone, for being here. Bye, Shannon.
I miss my cube, baby, I had you. Miss my cube, but I had you for that day. Here in the blue, I'm falling deep.
Be sure to give this live a thumbs up. Helps me go out into the algorithm party out there. Bring more people back to the party. It's just a free way to help.